begin this news hour with breaking news from the conflict in Ethiopia, where TPLF fighters appear to be on the back foot in the Amhara and Afar regions. Government troops have recorded several victories in recent weeks after the Prime Minister, Abiy Ahmed, went to the front line to lead the army. Government troops now saying they've retaken control of the strategic towns of Dessie and Kombolcha from Tigrayan rebels. The fighters had captured the towns in the region of Amhara in the past 2 months. Let's get Martin Plaut's thoughts on this story. He is a Horn of Africa analyst and a senior research fellow at the University of London. He joins us on Skype from there. Martin Plaut, welcome back to the News Hour. How significant is it that they've retaken these 2 towns?
Oh, it's very significant. I mean, the Tigrayans have been pushed a long way back. I mean, they have really been pushed back through towns and villages that they fought extremely hard to take. And they must have lost many lives in order to capture them. But one thing is important to realize is that they withdrew. They were not forced out. They withdrew with their troops and much of their equipment. And this means that they possibly can continue fighting in another location. Now, since they sweated a lot and lost a lot of blood to get these towns, but clearly they have now gone.
Does that mean that they might be planning on some sort of regrouping over the coming weeks and months?
That's exactly what they're saying. They're saying this was a strategic withdrawal rather than being defeated on the battlefield. Now, whether that is true or not, I'm not in a position to say. And one of the great problems with this war is that there are no independent journalists allowed into Tigray to report on what is going on. Neither Al Jazeera nor the BBC, Reuters, anybody else is allowed to go up to the front lines. So we all have to rely on reports by the combatants.
There were areas of speculation, I guess, Martin, 2 months ago now, up and...
Good day, viewers. This is the Upriver Crawfish back with another Ethiopia update. So far, there's good news for the Ethiopian government. They have been advancing and have the TPLF on the back foot. As you can see from this map, Dessie is captured. Kombolcha is somewhere around here, has been captured too. And Kemsi is another town that had been captured. Let me orient you guys to the map a little bit by pulling back. So this is Ethiopia, and this is the conflict area. Here's Addis Ababa. Now let's dig in. So Dessie, Kombolcha has been captured. Those are strategic towns that the TPLF had captured, and Kemsi have been captured as well. Again, as I pointed out, if you watch my other videos, the Ethiopian government needed to attack from the west and the east in the pincer to carve out to cut out the TPLF. The TPLF, their option would be to stay and fight, and they could get encircled, and that could be devastating because they will lose a lot of men, or they could pull back. From what the TPLF is saying, and I believe them, they pull back because that attack, that pincer, when it's effective, it creates what you call a turning movement. So they have to turn. That means they can't fight here anymore. They got to turn and move back up to see if they're meant to fight for another day. Furthermore, the Ethiopian government is also putting pressure on Mekele. So they have to pull those men back. So it also tells me that the TPLF is militarily sound, at least from a strategic point of view. I mean, for them to have fought the way they did so far, even operationally and tactically, you can tell the sound. But you can tell that they really are sound strategically. But the Ethiopian government is pushing forward now. I don't understand why this didn't happen before. why the generals had to wait for the prime minister to go to the battlefront. But let's pray for his safety and be happy that things are happening right now. So the strategy right now for the government is to continue attacking on all fronts to keep the TPLF busy, especially coming from the west and the east. You need to cut the ceiling out so that they get out of Amara, and they need to push in different areas, especially need to put up pressure on Mekele. They will have to run back up there. So I think that's what's happening. Another thing that's causing this the leading to success is those drones. They're using them to a devastating effect, and especially hunting down the TPLF leadership. But I'm also hearing that they have acquired more and more, and probably they're using some of them on the front lines. And if you don't have an effective means, then to counter those, to count either hide from those drone attacks or counter them, then those drones become a strategic. They have a strategic impact. Now, if you going against countries that like the U.S., Russia, China, Iran, countries that have countermeasures against those drones, then those are just become tactical weapons. They don't have many effect. But against people who don't have countermeasures for them, they become a strategic weapon, and that's what's happening right now. Hope the Ethiopian government can continue, but I believe the TPLF, when they say that they are pulling back strategically, it's not they're saying that it's not a defeat. They're right. They're pulling back with their men intact. That's what a smart military commander will do. Now, if you listen to one of the clips that I will add here from Al Jazeera, the guy asked whether there's a compromise point. I don't see any. TPLF is a terrorist outfit. It's that plain or simple. You cannot challenge the government rate like that and say that things must go your way or else there's no government. You can't do that. Any government come to a compromise, they will be weakened. And for what Abiy Ahmed is trying to do is to create a whole Ethiopia, where Ethiopians see themselves as Ethiopians, not as Afar or Amhara or Oromo or Tigrayans. They see themselves as Ethiopians. You can't achieve that in doing a compromise. The only compromise for TPLF, they should drop their weapons, pull their weapons down. Those leadership maybe agree for them to go out of the country, whatever. That's the only compromise. The government has to reestablish its rate within the territory. That has to happen. So this is a place where the Ethiopian government has to stand strong and not listen to all the cries from the West. Right now, you're going to see the U.S. and the West crying. In fact, I've already seen that they're accusing the Ethiopian government of running out lots of Ethiopians on false charges. So let's go back. Let's go to my other favorite map, the Live EU map, the Live UA map rather, and let me pull out again so I give you an orientation on this map. This is Ethiopia. This is the conflict area. Let's go in now. So yeah, according to a statement on this map, the profound concern expressed by U.S. and 5 other countries over recent reports, the government of Ethiopia is detaining large numbers of Ethiopian citizens on the basis of their ethnicity without charge. So all of a sudden now, you will start hearing this propaganda. Wait for some from Human Rights Watch. Those I will call them vampires from the Human Rights Watch and Amnesty International and the UN. They're going to start crying now and trying to put pressure on the Ethiopian government. But they need to stay fast. They need to stay fast and get this thing done. The government must establish their rates. So right now, the government has to put pressure on Mekele. That's another place they got to put that pressure on. We know that they're coming from Sokoto in Region 2. So TPLF will have to pull back. And it doesn't mean that this is the end for the TPLF so far, but at least the government is winning right now. So that's the update for today. Please subscribe, subscribe to the Upriver Crawfish. Thank you.
To sort of stage a march on the capital, on Addis Ababa. Addis Ababa now is safe and secure, yeah?
At the moment, yes, that is certainly what it looks like. They have withdrawn, a long way. This is, a very substantial change in the situation. And I think the reason is quite simple. It looked as if the Ethiopian army was going to be able to attack them from the flank, from the east. And this would have cut their forces in half. And therefore, they were left with really few options but to withdraw. Now, what they will do from now, I don't know. I mean, the Tigrayans are still a long way outside of Tigray proper. They're in parts of Amhara and the Amhara region. So what they're going to do, I don't know. And they're not making their views known. The other thing that really changed things was the drones, which were flown in via the UAE from Turkey, from China, and that seems to have played a major role in this victory by the Ethiopian military.
But the central issues that have led to this conflict, those issues have not gone away, have they?
In no way. I mean, and both sides are really still fighting to the end. I mean, the other thing that's happened today, there's been a major initiative by the international community. I think 6-7 countries from Australia, Canada, Denmark, Netherlands, United Kingdom, and the United States have all appealed to the participants in the war to sit down and negotiate. I don't see that happening. I mean, everyone has far too much to lose by sitting down and negotiating. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there are things going on. You have former President Obasanjo of Nigeria is the African Union mediator. He said that he's made quite a lot of progress. Maybe we'll now see it on the table. But okay. I wouldn't hold breath.
OK, we'll leave it there, Martin. Many thanks, Martin Platt. Good until